Hey guys, Micah from blackbearcustomkydex. I've got a video for you today on, I don't even know what this thing is. It's just a little kind of camp survival bushcraft type knife. Um, really thin blade stock, drop point, paracord handle wrap. I don't know what the maker model is of this, so if you do know, definitely comment down below. This one is going to Jason out in Montana, and it is a gift from him to his daughter for graduation, I believe, from West Point. So I believe that would mean that she is now a commissioned officer in the United States Army. So congratulations to her and her family for making it through that, and for getting her butter bar, presumably. So, all right, what we're looking at here is all Multicam fabric coated Kydex. So this is kind of like the stock when you coat, or when you buy a fabric covered Kydex. It just comes on, you only have one color option for the whole thing, so Multicam is always on flat dark earth Kydex. And Jason asked me if I could do a sheath for the knife in this material with a bunch of accessories on it, as you can see. So over here we're looking at a ferro rod that he sent me. It comes with this paracord on it going to the striker for the rod. I'm going to provide some shock cord as well, so that if she decides she wants to get rid of this longer cord, she can just have a short thing, a pair of shock cord going directly to the striker, and that obviously will loop down around the end of the rod to retain it once it's been used a little bit and is too small for the holder. So for now, I'm just kind of wrapping this cord around it like that. That'll hold it in place for now, no big deal. On this side of it, we've got a Streamlight Stylist Pro flashlight, and this thing came out really nice, the holder for it. Very, very smooth draw. The one thing that you want to look out for with it is make sure that the pocket clip stays on the outside of the holder so that it is retained adequately. You can definitely get it to go on the inside and it might stay in place well, but it has a tendency, you got to push it into a very specific point before it'll stop trying to spring out of there. And at that point, it's a little bit harder to draw. So I think it's just better to have that clip on the outside. It's very smooth sheathing and very smooth drawing process. All right, so there you go, Streamlight Stylist Pro. You can see that right here on the face, we've got a multi-tool mounted to the front of this. This, I think, is the CRKT Squid. If I'm not mistaken, that's the model. It's definitely CRKT, but I think this is the Squid. It's just a nice little multi-tool. It's got sharpeners, it's got a bottle opener, and it's got a couple of hex bit drivers on there. So you can install your own hex bits and have a lot of different screwdriver type options. And then the last attachment is 6 hex bits. So I decided I would pair them up. So we've got 3 holders for 3 pairs of hex bits. One of them is on the back here, just for lack of a better place to put it. And then we've got 2 here on the face. These holders are difficult to create and make them with good retention. And when I say good retention, I mean not too tight, not too loose. Obviously, especially with some of them facing downward, you can't have them just falling out. At the same time, you need them to be functional and able to draw. So after getting a second opinion on this, I actually loosened up the holders a little bit to make them a little bit easier to draw the bits out. That said, when I formed them around the bits, so they do have a little bit of the angle on the inside. They've got some of that hexagon angle action going on. So that means that it is not going, you can't just put it in there and rotate it like this, which then obviously also means that at certain angles, it's going to be slightly tighter than at other angles. So if you're really worried about it, you can kind of, if you're able to just kind of slip it in, you know that it's at one of the looser angles where the flat sides are lining up with the flat sides of the interior. So find that spot and then just rotate it about 10 degrees and you'll feel the tension as you put that back in. That adds a nice bit of retention on it. You can actually get it in there to a point where it's difficult to draw, but you can also find these sweet spots where it's just good retention. I did make them pivotable. You can see they're only one attach point for each of these. The reason I did that is because I don't have a problem just kind of using, I've got kind of stupid grip strength with my fingers. They're really good grip strength. So I don't have an issue kind of getting the tips of my fingers into that little space and drawing the bit out of there. But I recognize that not everybody is able to do that. So, you know, you can just kind of tilt this and have maybe a more comfortable, clearer angle to draw that from. Same thing goes for this side. Maybe even a touch more space on this side than the other side, but you can obviously still pivot these. If you need to, you can move your flashlight out of the way. This was a really tough project because there's just so much on such a tiny knife. So it was a real challenge to kind of figure out the layout of this thing and make it all work. I actually had to restart the project twice because I had discovered that the sheath itself was not big enough to accommodate everything. The first time around, it was that the sheath was not wide enough to actually make this kind of holder work for the multi-tool. So then I widened it out, but then it still wasn't quite wide enough to make all the other attachments work on here. So I had to go again. So finally, we've arrived, I hope, at the final conclusion here. So, all right, on the back, this last one, this one's a little bit trickier. You have to rotate this one to be able to get a clean draw on the hex bit there. So what I would recommend, because you can actually twist this one a full 360 degrees, that means that you will eventually be loosening the holder if you twist it around too much. So I always just kind of arc it toward the light, just go down on the side of the light, and always back up on that same side. Don't ever twist it around further because you'll either tighten it and cause it to create too much tension and it'll be difficult to draw these guys, or you'll loosen it and then the screws will start to loosen themselves up over time, and you just don't want that. So, all right. As far as the carry setup goes, you don't see anything on it right now because he said he has a tech lock that he can throw on it. So I've just set it up to be compatible with the tech lock. Now, the edges of this sheath, if you wanted to pare this thing down, get rid of some attachments and just rock the sheath, you could take everything off of it, and the edges are compatible with the tech lock at a horizontal or a vertical angle. You could also probably cant it and find some, you'd have to cheat the distance a little bit, but you could definitely make that work with the Chicago screws. With this plate here, it is compatible currently for a vertical or horizontal carry. However, you can utilize these two drill holes in conjunction with this one to get additional angles if you ever choose to. You do then have to take this plate off and get that hardware through those screws, and that's a little bit challenging. Well, not challenging, just time consuming. So be aware of that. But as it sits right now, you can take your tech lock. I'm looking for one right now. I always have one kicking around my desk. Well, whatever. You get the point. So if you set your tech lock so that the gate opens this way, so it's a vertical carry, you can put the two screws through any one of the 3 rows of drill holes on your tech lock. So you've got 3 different ride height options, and that same spacing works. This is 1.5 inches, this is 1.5 inches, and this is 1.5 inches. So that same spacing is going to work if you turn the tech lock 90 degrees, or if you go through any one of these gaps. You'll have 3 different ride heights that you can carry it at. So I thought that was a cool thing, and to me that's kind of valuable. It just gives you options in case you find that one way of carrying isn't quite comfortable, you want it to go up or down, maybe you have the ability to do that. All right, so that's pretty much all I have to show you on this thing. Very basic sheath, but it's got a ton of attachments on it for the size. So this became an extremely difficult, kind of dense and complex project. But yeah, I hope this is to your satisfaction, Jason. I hope your daughter enjoys this. Congratulations again on the graduation from West Point. I know that's not easy. I got an uncle who went through, and way back when, and he's a lieutenant colonel now. So it's definitely a great place to start your career as a commissioned officer. But all right, guys, this is what I got for you. So if you like this sheath, if you like this video, if you like this gear, hit that like button. If you like the channel, subscribe, comment down below, give me your thoughts, and I appreciate you tuning in. Stick around for the next one. God bless.